brief you on the status of this case, the Honorable Aisha N. Braveboy, and after that we will also have the victim as well. He will also be speaking, and the Chief of Police, Hank Stalinsky. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm pleased to announce that Prince George's County Circuit Court Judge Ingrid Turner has found Corporal Stephen Downey guilty of second-degree assault and misconduct in office. And his actions, and you'll hear from Mr. Verdier, who is the victim in this case, his actions, and I want to say this very clearly, does not represent what we know about the Prince George's County Police Department. The vast majority of our officers operate with integrity. And so when an incident happens like this, we are disturbed, certainly outraged, but that should not erode the confidence in our criminal justice system, and it should not erode the confidence in our police department. In this case, it was the actions of other officers who were on the scene that evening that led us to this day of justice, because those brave officers spoke up. They did not accept the actions of their superior officer who was on the scene, who engaged in misconduct, and they were brave enough not only to report what they saw that night, but to come to court to testify truthfully so that we could secure this very important verdict and justice for our community and Mr. Verdier. So I created, when I became state's attorney, what's called a public integrity unit. That unit is headed up by Renee Joy, who was the lead prosecutor on that case. Mr. Musa Eubanks is also a member of that unit, and they prosecuted this case today. It is because of their putting together a very strong case in support of the community and in support of Mr. Verdier that we were able to achieve justice today. And so I want to personally thank them for their work. We know that these police misconduct cases are tough, and they're not easy, but we have to do our jobs. And as the state's attorney's office, we work hand in hand with our police department, but we are also responsible for holding them accountable if they violate the public trust. And so today we've not concluded this entire case because there is still the sentencing, which will occur on October 25th of this year. So October 25th, which is a Friday, at 9:30 a.m., there will be a sentencing of Corporal Downey. And at that time, obviously, the case would conclude. And so we thank, in particular, our victim, and Mr. Verdier, if you can come and join me, for being there, for testifying. I think a lot of the reason why the judge found in favor of the state is because we had credible witnesses, including the officers who were on the scene and the victim, Mr. Verdier. So I want to introduce you all to Mr. Andre Verdier and ask him to say a few words.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I'd like to say all the glory and praise go to God. The victory is truly his. I want to thank the team here that worked so hard in this case. Ms. Renee and Mr. Musa, they worked very hard in this case, and I was glad to be helpful to this case. And everything was accurate and true. So with that, I'll just pass it on. I don't want to be too long. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Verdier. And next, I would like to bring up my partner in law enforcement, our Chief of Police, Hank Stalinsky.
Thank you. Let me begin. Mr. Verdier, I apologize.
Thank you, sir.
The actions of this individual do not represent the more than 2,000 members of the Prince George's County Police Department. But what I'm proud of as the chief is that this is the third time during my administration that officers, working side by side with others, observed misconduct, reported that misconduct, that we investigated it, that we found our basis to believe that criminal violations had occurred, we brought those violations to the state's attorney's office, and that matter was prosecuted. This is the justice system working. Nothing's perfect, but as Justice Brandeis said, sunlight is the best disinfectant. And that's why I stand here today to apologize, to assure our community that this individual's actions, again, do not represent the men and women who keep you safe day in and day out, in whom I know you have confidence, to thank the state's attorney's office for their hard work in this case, and to assure you once again that our culture of policing in Prince George's County will align with the values of our community in Prince George's County. Thank you.
Thank you. And if you have any questions, we are available to answer them at this time.
So the officer made his own reenactment video of what happened. Could you explain how that video came to be and the part that it played in the trial?
Well, the officer, through his attorney, introduced demonstrative evidence of what he claimed to be the reenactment of the actions that night. So we don't look at that as fact, that's just his version of the facts. Clearly it was not persuasive to Judge Turner. I think, again, the witness statements, the witnesses who were police officers, the witnesses who were, well, the victim, their testimony was believed. And so that reenactment, we don't believe was accurate. And so, again, that was introduced by the defendant.
Chief, just a question. You have this Justice Department suit where there are officers who have alleged that there was retaliation when officers speak out against other officers. Considering that environment, what is the response going to be for the officers who testified here and moving forward? What is it that you have to do in the department when there's this kind of divisiveness?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what I'm saying today is that this is the third time since I became the chief that officers have reported misconduct by their fellow officers. Those officers have been supported as we have prosecuted these cases, and that differs radically from the question that you're asking. And frankly, I think it speaks to a healthy culture of police accountability within the Prince George's County Police Department.
Any further questions?
What's the potential sentence and what are you recommending?
So, for the second-degree assault, the maximum penalty is 10 years. And so, we are going to evaluate this corporal and make a decision after we have an opportunity to do a pre-sentencing investigation.
And for the other count?
Well, the misconduct in office count is considered what is a common law charge, and so there is no exact sentence for that, just something that is not unreasonable in light of the circumstances.
Does someone discuss what next steps are, what happens with this officer? He's still on suspension?
Would it be fired?
Well, once the criminal portion of this is concluded, there will be internal administrative charges placed, and the officer will have subject to due process just as any citizen is, and will arrive at a conclusion after that.
I have a question. So are you saying that you don't know if if the process would be to fire this officer?
So again, I don't want to deprive anybody of their due process rights.
I understand that, but I'm saying, what is your position in this? Are you going to go to try to have this officer fired off of your police force?
Well, based on what I said earlier, and based on the outcome today, certainly I don't believe this person has a place within the ranks of the Prince George's County Police Department.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.